Hello and welcome to a video on a bunch of older Pogo bootleg figures that I've just had lying around. Some I bought new, but they've been in my shopping cart for so long. And yes, I know I haven't done a bootleg Lego video in a while now, so I'm going to be filming a lot of these all day, and I'm going to get them out as fast as I can. There's this one where it's DC and Marvel. I have a bunch of minifigures that just have DC figures, just have Marvel figures, and of course a few extra ones of Infinity War and Endgame figures, some Mega Bloks bootlegs, some more anime, Aliens, Kamen Rider. So stay tuned and stay subscribed to this channel for that stuff that's gonna come along. So in front of us we have 8 Pogo sets that have both DC and Marvel characters in them, and each set has 8 minifigures, meaning that there's 88 figures to go through in this video. Phew. Every single one of these figures come with a standard minifigure stand underneath them. I'll just say this right now, some of them are pretty good copies of actual Lego plates. Some of them have rough edges, extra plastic from the molding injection. It's not that good, and if you stack these up, they don't form a straight line. It's not good at all. That's like the official Lego stuff, but actually nice. You're gonna have to get the XI and H ones. Those actually stack up quite straight. They're mostly flawless. Really great copies. If you don't necessarily need them in 3x4 plates, but you can also have some 4x4s, KLPF ones seem to be quite nicely done as well. First set we're taking a look at today is PG8123, which contains figures 1517 all the way to 1524. Starting on the left we have Huntress, Red Hood, Citizen Steel, Valkyrie, Spider-Man from Earth X, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, her movie island training look, and we have Drax in his green look, which is more like he is in the comic books. Yes, my Wonder Woman was missing an arm, and in terms of accessories, he's got this pistol right there. In terms of accessories, Red Hood has a tiny little pistol. You can't really rotate this since the bump on the handle is just on both sides of the gun, so the front and back are sort of flat and straight. Basic knife for her. Basic spiderweb for this Spider-Man, just like the official Lego stuff. And a specially molded sword, which is not quite Wonder Woman. I think I've seen this sword before on other minifigures. For the characters who have capes, these capes are flimsy as usual. I think this one's slightly thicker than the other ones, just out of sheer luck, I guess. But don't expect any of these Pogo capes to last a long time if you're always playing around with these figures, or last even a few days if you let these figures be played around by a child. They're very, very thin, and they're just not good quality at all. And these are generally made in a very low quality, and that goes to the same to all of the other sets in this review. All of the figures in this wave are digitally printed, and I'm honestly not too big of a fan of that. If you like Huntress and you like this design, there's an almost identical one done by WM here. I've not reviewed this set yet that she comes from, but the WM one has really bad like molding and stuff, and this mask keeps falling off. It just overall looks a bit tacky, but the torso print, despite its color being a little bit different, there's no green there, it's just much better, much smoother, much like official Lego compared to the Pogo one. This one also has arm printing and better, skin tone painting on the legs. So I actually recommend, if you just happen to be able to access both of these figures, pick up the Pogo one for the mask and the hair, and for the body and cape and stuff, just stick with the WM one. That's really the only good thing about this. This isn't exactly that secure, but it's much better than the WM one, where it keeps feel like it's falling off, and the hair itself actually looks like proper hair, whereas the WM one looks really flaky and really cheap. Another thing about the hair is through the molding process, a little bit that comes down there. It's like a little hidden camera on the front of a smartphone selfie cam bump thing. No back face printing, but I'm just going to take that hair out so you can see the back of the torso there. Here's a quick look aside the print, and despite being a digital print, the white and flesh color isn't that good, and the color of the plastic comes through it, and it just looks kind of bad. Just doesn't quite match. So yeah, not a big fan of this figure. I'll definitely stick with the WM one. Next up with Red Hood, they have cut this jacket thing just like it would in the comic book, so that's kind of cool, but because it's just that really flimsy material, I don't like it at all. No back hair to print on anything, but he does have back, body and leg print, and it's just the same digital print that goes all the way around, so kudos there. We've had this version of like Red Hood numerous times on many different sources. This one is okay. It's not the best. I think he looks a bit too green for my liking. So yeah, I prefer the more grey coloured ones. Citizen Steel here kind of looks like the TV counterpart, but not quite. The arm printing is just a bit dodgy. I mean, you can see all the skin, it doesn't paint all the way around and just looks odd. He could have really done with dual arm molding, just like official Lego or XINH does sometimes. The digital print here is also not that good on the legs. The details are somewhat hidden by the dark color of the plastic. And here's a quick look at the back. I think digital print is a little bit off center, and the white lining and the red lining doesn't quite match. And then again, with digital print, one of the advantages, you don't need to have like double prints, so there shouldn't be anything that's off center, and yet you got these ugly white lines all over the place. Perhaps that's part of the original shading, and they could have gone with a light gray instead of white, and now it just stands out a bit too much. It looks a bit ugly on the back. The front is okay, but once again, digital print, the details are just a little bit muffed, and I'm not a big fan. Valkyrie here, I will say just this one, just don't bother, because there are Valkyries from other sets and other sources. Not really important here. Face is definitely weird. It's printed like wrong. It's just too high, and all these are just too small. The overall body is okay. If this is the only Valkyrie you can access, it's not too bad. The yellow is a bit too like bright though. Makes it feel a little bit tacky. So I would have preferred lesser shade of yellow, or in fact just have it gold, or maybe grayscale the entire figure. Have it in silver instead. Would look much better. There is some arm printing and of course back. Next up we have Earth X Spider-Man. It says Peter Parker Spider-Man on there. He's got that chubby stomach there. So I guess this is the Spider-Verse movie, Earth X Peter Parker. Don't know why that's printed on his chest though. That's a bit weird. So anyway, got the digital print boots there. And of course the big problem of digital print is, well, this. I suppose they have that same problem with pad printing too. So get yourself a red marker pen and just draw a line on there just to make it look a bit better. Side print, back print, got the chubbiness there. And of course another problem with the flesh color there is that it's too white. It looks weird, looks cheap, it looks bootleggy, and just kind of ruins the entire figure. The mask itself is also reminding me of the Amazing Spider-Man mask, where it's got that gold tint to the eyes, and I'm not a fan of that. Next we have the comic book version of Supergirl. Now this, I think it's okay. It actually looks alright, and the white printed on there is okay. It's not faded from the skin-colored plastic. Unfortunately, she only has red, angry laser eyes still, so that's annoying. And another problem with the digital print is that it doesn't quite go up to the edge, so this blue area just looks a bit weird, like her pants are ripping, or skirt maybe. Quick look at the back of her torso. Next up we have Wonder Woman here. Not only is she missing a hand, but this hairpiece is also very, very loose. There are some nice details here, but perhaps a bit too detailed. This looks like some sort of a drawing and doesn't fit the Lego motif. The lines are too thin, and there's too much detail. And of course the color is just wrong. Why is her armor just bright green? This isn't right. If you've seen the movie, okay, I know it's not a Zack Snyder movie, someone else directed it, but it still kind of follows a bit of the Zack Snyder design philosophy for the DCEU. But this movie is way more colorful, and Themyscira scenes were way more colorful than anything else at that time from the DCEU. But still, it was more of a golden kind of tinted green color. Not this green. This is like bright green. This is wrong. Side print there. Even her little gauntlets there have a green linings going on all over it. She does have the correct hairpiece though, with that ponytail. So yeah, could have been an awesome figure to have for Wonder Woman fans, but no. Finally, Drax here. He turned out okay. This is actually quite decent. He is very green in the box, and the digital printer actually works towards his advantage because his tattoos actually have, texture to it. They're bumped up. They're 3D. So here it kind of works. The face is kind of crap though, so that's annoying. But aside from that, the rest of him is produced quite nicely. If you can just look past a slightly goofy face, this is a decent figure. Next set, it is PG8124. Includes the figures PG1525 all the way to 1532. Starting from the left, we have Heimdall in his more casual gear. I think that's from the Thor Ragnarok one, where he's sort of escaping, doesn't have his big golden armor. We've previously had him in the big golden armor, so it's nice to have him here like this. And then next we have classic comic book or animated series Storm. We have Batman from the Gotham by Gaslight design, and then we have the Executioner. Again, this is one of the guys from Thor Ragnarok, but this is in more of his comic book look, because the blue is far too bright. And if you look at the original Pogo promotional photos, it is actually a much darker blue, much like the Spider-Man next to him. But here he's got light blue, so that kind of sucks. Next up, we have a Spider-Man mixed Captain America, just cuz. And then we have an Arkham Asylum Titan Joker. Now, some people have done him as a big fig, but here's a minifigure version of him. So there you go. And then we have a Batman mixed Captain America, so we've got two crossover characters here. And finally, we have a Nazi Supergirl, so Overgirl. First look at Heimdall here. He looks okay. The digital print is not too bad. Just remove his hair. He's got like a black Qui-Gon Jinn hair. Here's a good look at the back of his torso. So the overall design does line up. The arm printing is slightly off center, but that's to its advantage because if you just look at the figure from the front, you're getting more details there. And these sides sort of line up, so that's okay. Nothing too special about him, but it's just a nice figure to have in his more casual or less armored look. And once again, the digital print here is quite sharp, so that's good. It's not blurry. Animated series Storm here is a nice design to have. I would have preferred it if it wasn't like a digital print, but whatever. Since our figure is printed on a white piece of plastic, it actually came out okay. And here's a quick look at the back of her torso print, nothing too special there. Notice that her cape is attached to her neck as well as her arms, but of course since it is using that very flimsy sheet, this isn't really going to last that long. Honestly, I would recommend that you just take this cape and trace it on some other material and cut out your own cape, and hopefully that will last a lot longer. Next, with our Gotham by Gaslight, this one's again printed quite nicely. Got a black marker pen just filling on top of his boots right there. So yeah, this turned out okay because it got like darker colors printed on a lighter colored plastic. Definitely not a fan of this design just digitally printed on the head, but it's okay. For the most part, the mask does cover it. Yeah, a bit too many lining detail on the back there. Kind of looks like that fat fold, so he's not really Batman, he's just some fat guy dressed up as him. That's kind of weird. At the front it works because they're sort of like uneven all over the place, whereas the back, they sort of fold in and like they're parallel to each other, so it looks like fat folds. Okay, so his design really looks bad. The details are far too sharp, the lines are far too thin, far too small, and of course instead of silver we just have like white coloring here, which doesn't really work. His face is also faded and smudgy. His battle axe is okay, I guess. Arm printing and some back print. Just a disappointment overall. Not a fan of this figure. I can't remember if we got him in another set that looks nicer than this. Next up, Captain Spider-Man. Yeah, the leg print is really not that good here. I guess this is just a trend of mixing characters together, but it's okay if you like that sort of thing. I'm partial to it, like there's a Superman Batman thing or whatever, or like Deadpool versions and Venom versions of characters. Those are fine. It's kind of cool, I guess, just to see something a bit different. You got a spider logo there on the cap shield. It looks okay. I don't mind this one. It's I'm just not a big fan of these, so it doesn't really do anything for me. Next up with Titan Joker. My friend did make a custom big fig of this. I'm not sure if there was a bootleg big fig of this character, but it's still nice to have a minifigure version of this. You can use this for like zombies and stuff, or maybe some of the other Arkham Asylum inmates hooked up on Titan. That's cool. He's got this giant gun here, which actually feels like this should be given to Executioner there instead of Titan Joker. So that's probably what I'm going to do after this video. The overall details on him are printed quite nicely. Once again, because he's using like white plastic and it's got dark colors printed on that, it looks okay. Next up we have Cap Bat. It's got a bee on his cowl, that's kind of funny. And got a Bat logo inserted in his shield, which is done quite nicely, I'll say that. But the torso print there is okay, but it just seems a little bit messy, and the white plastic that they've chosen for the arms doesn't quite match. It just makes it something kind of piratey, especially with these brown gloves. Here's a quick look at the back. Would have been much nicer if those yellow details were done in a gold color, and it's got the standard sort of bat face underneath. Finally, for this set we have like evil Supergirl. I'll say this right now, the XI-NH1 is way better. Not only does it have a cape, a better cape than any of the Pogo stuff, it's just printed much nicely because it's actually proper pad printing. The colors are better and just don't seem that tacky. And the XINH1 actually has a second face where she has her mask on. So that's a thing that this one doesn't even have. So yeah, kudos on this double colored cape, red underneath, black on top. It's just something very simple but gives up a very nice effect. So we have Pogo PG8125 that contains number 1533 all the way to 1540. Starting on the left we have Batman Thomas Wayne, so this is like the Flashpoint Batman. He has a Batarang of course. And next we have another Captain America Batman mix, but this time we have it in the blue color. So if you want something that's a bit more Batman, you get the one from the previous set. If you want something that's leaning a bit more towards Captain America, the blue coloring, then you would get this one. Both of them have like pretty much the same design, just different colors. Next we have the Heath Ledger Joker. We've had plenty of these before. This one's don't bother. Next we have Power Girl. And then you have Big Barda with her Mega Rod, no attachments whatsoever, it is what it is. Her helmet is like a Pharaoh's helmet, just done in black, with her logo like attached to it, okay. And then for some reason, we have Tomb Raider in a more classical look, the blue look, but instead of like dual pistols, they gave her a knife, okay. And then we have Rocky Balboa again for no reason, like, okay, these are just random characters here, oh, fine. And then we have Namor with a very yellow trident. So golden age of comic books look, I guess. Starting with Batman here again. Gonna have to paint the top of the boots yourself. Removing the mask. You've got the digital print thing going on the red top. And of course a bearded face. But it's printed very poorly. The black plastic is just shining through. The torso and stuff is fine. But I remember another set with this Flashpoint Batman. So yeah, this is not the one to get. Just get the other ones. They are much better. I remember them being much better. Next is this blue cap. Again, it's the exact same design as the black one, just done in blue. Standard Batman face underneath. And even the shield is actually the same design, just, you know, because it's got like the black logo instead of like just a white outline, so it looks quite different. Arm printing, back printing, all the way around. Not a bad figure, again, doesn't really do much for me. Another Heath Ledger Joker without any jacket or anything, just digitally printed on. He looks like his pants are pajamas just because of all the stripes going on. Very tacky. And it goes all the way around. The legs actually have his like outer coat / jacket coloring onto it. It just looks kind of weird, like one of those really old video games where the coat is sort of glued onto your arms and legs. It just moves with it. But yes, there's really no point picking up this figure. Power Girl here looks okay, but I don't like her eyes always in this white, like she's always emitting powers or whatever. That kind of sucks. The overall torso is printed okay here because it's, you know, darker colors printed on white plastic, but it doesn't line up on the legs, and that's just quite annoying. No back head print. Back body print is also just relatively simple. The arm print there was not really necessary. It doesn't really add too much detail. Trying to cut up the colors, but failing to do so because it's just, you know, printed on one side. Yeah, not that good. Big Barda here looks okay. It's very colorful. It's very comic booky, very golden age once again. So there you go. Arm printing, some useful details there, and the back print is also quite nicely done. So probably the highlights of this set, perhaps? Tomb Raider, for no reason. I guess the face is Tomb Raider-y, maybe. The torso is, I mean, the overall lining is good, but that coloring under her breast, that dark blue color, ruins the entire thing. It's far too thick, far too dark colored. The contrast is just horrible, so maybe just rub that off or sand that away to improve this figure. And back torso print. So overall, this is not a bad figure, it's just ruined by that breast shadow. It looks really bad. Rocky Balboa, for some reason, okay. It's printed quite well. It's got the American shorts there, so would that be the versus Russian one? I'm not a big fan of these movies, so I'm not quite sure. He seems quite worried, so it must be against the Russian one, because he loses against him in the beginning, doesn't he? And then we have Namor finally in this set. The yellowy print on him is actually okay this time. You'd think I'd say this was tacky as well, but it fits with the older, like, comic book looks of him, and it's okay. I'm not a fan of these white scales. The lining on those is a bit too thick, and there's nothing really to contrast to that on the back, but on the front, the little white linings is okay. The next set we're looking at today is PG8147, which contains figures PG1589 all the way to 1596. Starting from the first, we have Wolverine in his Weapon X gear, and then next we have a Venom that's mixed with Spider-Gwen, and since she's in the white color, it is closer to Anti-Venom. And then we have the movie version of the Flash. But now we do have official Lego versions of that, but the biggest difference here is that the mask is printed onto the minifigure head instead of actually having some sort of mask or helmet piece to go on top of that. And then next we have a Ninja Strike Wolverine. We have a black version of Bat-Mite. Wolverine based on his Square Enix Playarts Kai look. Okay, that's a thing. We have a Deadpool Batman, so just like some previous sets, we have some crossover with Batman minifigures here. And then we have another Bat-Mite, but this time in the blue color. Now the promotional photo has this in a purple tint, whereas here is just blue. The Wolverines have their claw accessories, of course, and Spider-Gwen Anti-Venom there has a spiderweb string. The Flash there has the usual lightning. But the most special, I guess, is Deadpool Batman here, where he has a little drawing here. Got Deadpool shooting going pew pew and the other guy going like ouch and stuff. Starting with our Wolverine character here, the helmet is actually done quite nicely, and I think it is actually, based on an actual Lego helmet, so that's kind of cool. By the way, this set here has gone back to pad printing and is so much nicer because of that. With our first Wolverine figure here, we have this helmet that's actually based on official Lego pieces, and this mask thing, which I think is a custom piece. And then underneath you have Wolverine going, I think this is just a regular Wolverine head you would have gotten with the official Lego figure. The hair on him is printed quite nicely, so the little like wires and cabling. And these claws are okay. I could have done with these or regular claws, I don't mind. A bit of difference is fine. He does have printing on the side of his legs, the back of the torso. Now the back of his legs without any hair there does feel a bit bare, but it's okay, I guess. And on the side there, so I like this figure a lot. Weapon X Wolverine. I actually once had like a Weapon X Wolverine action figure at some point, but back then I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was Wolverine. I didn't know it was X-Men. I didn't know why this weird guy had like a weird silver helmet. So I would sometimes use that silver helmet on something else, like some mind-reading device. Weapon X Wolverine is kind of cool. He's got dual face prints. That's kind of nice. But the back of his torso is, what kind of drawing is this? It's like it's on MS Paint or just really smudgy drawing. That kind of sucks. Next we have this evil Spider-Gwen here. Again, the printing is very nice, and actually she does have that Gwen like inside hoodie stuff printed there, just like it should, with a black outline over it, so you might not even notice it when you first look at this figure, so that's kind of cool. She has some extra pad printing on the front of her arms, and this is done by purpose. On the side you don't see any of that printing, so this just sort of extends the detail. I think this is the first time I've ever seen printing done like this. The back is a bit simple, but it's fine. The front of this is just too good already. Movie version of the Flash without an actual helmet, it's okay. Yeah, I've got the official version, I'm not too bothered about that. The overall print detailing on him, the details are okay, but the coloring leaves much to be decided for. The patchwork on him is just a bit too grey, and the overall suit just looks a bit too busy and a bit too dark. Not a big fan. Ninja Strike Wolverine here, it's okay if you like Wolverine variants. I'm glad that this has a different face compared to the other one, so you have some alternate Wolverine faces if you don't have any other Wolverine figures previously. The printing on the leg is a bit messed up though and looks very tacky and bad. So is the back as well. Those grey details there just don't look good at all and just feels kind of cheap. Black version of Bat-Mite here, might as well bring in the coloured version, blue version here. Really like the cowl design, I think it looks pretty cool. And here's what he looks like underneath that mask. Both of them have the same face, same print designs and everything. Overall, they just molded it in different colours and done the exact same print details. And here's a quick look at the back of the figure. Of course, this one is going to have the exact same. Would have been really nice if they'd gone with the articulated short legs instead of these, but it's okay, I guess. They have no side print whatsoever. And then Square Enix's Wolverine here. You know, at first I thought this was going to be like a Venom Wolverine. I just first saw the photo, but I have seen the Square Enix like Playarts figures, and I have seen the Wolverine one, and yes, it does resemble that, so kudos there, I guess. So if you just need more Wolverine, more versions of him, this one, it's okay, I guess. I always thought that the Square Enix figures of other people's characters, like licensed characters, just tend to be a bit over-designed for me. And but somehow this over-design translated okay to the minifigure form, so whoever actually did this design and translated it into the minifigure did a good job. The mask here isn't painted too well, but it's okay. This really sharp look of this helmet is quite nice. We've seen this with some previous Wolverine figures before. The arm printing is not so good though. The color of the skin really contrasts with those red lines and just doesn't quite work. The Deadpool Batman, another crossover figure. Design is a bit simplified. That's the face, I guess. Now they filled in the mouth area there to make it more like Deadpool. That's kind of cool, I guess. The overall print and design is a bit too simple. Again, doesn't really do much for me, but I guess it gets the idea across. Here's a good look at the back. Again, nothing too special there. So we take a look at here is PG8158 with minifigures from 1409 all the way to 1416. Starting on the left, we have Sheriff Deadpool based on the San Diego Comic-Con from last year to 2018. And then we have Injustice version of Deathstroke. We have the Arkham game version of Batgirl, Injustice version of Wonder Woman, Arkham game of Red Hood. And then we have a Yellow Lantern Superman, Injustice version of Catwoman, and Joker as Nurse Disguise from the Dark Knight movie. So most of these are, video game counterparts. It switches back to digital print and that's really annoying. Deadpool here comes with these two sort of Uzi gun thingies and of course a sword pack. The print on this torso is okay, but the face print is just very light, like it's very grey instead of just sort of black and white. It's weird. No side prints on him and just some basic back printing on him, which I think they just sort of copied the front, removed, like the front details and just gave him more some black splodges on the back. I don't think this is accurate. And I guess just to go with Deadpool, we have Deathstroke right here from the video games. And yeah, I guess, because the video game design of him didn't differ too much from a lot of other designs. The colors are correct. He's got this light blue thing going on. He's got a little knife there, a pistol, and those two katanas on the back. Sidearm printing and back printing. Now he's actually printed quite nicely. Just looking at it from a distance, the details are very nice, very shaded. It's got a nice sort of comic booky look to him. So I like this kind of. Next we have Batgirl here. She's got these two sort of newer bat disc blade things that were released as part of official Lego stuff. Her print design is a bit too busy for this to look good. It doesn't look right. Face print underneath is a bit crap, honestly. We've seen his faces way too many times from like Cheng Yuan and stuff in the past. She does have arm printing, leg printing, and of course back printing. Very simple here, but still feels too busy. I think it's all those stripes on the suit that makes it look bad. Next we have a really annoying version of Wonder Woman from the Injustice games. I hate this version of her a lot. She's madly in love and with evil Superman and very kill hungry. Still, this figure, it's printed okay. Again, from a distance it's okay. It's just the biggest problem for some of these digital prints is just when you look up close, all the fuzziness starts to appear. But from where I'm sitting right now, even on the viewfinder, it looks kind of smooth and okay. So that's fine, I guess. A sort of bronze color whip, because I guess she's gone evil, so it's not as gold anymore. Red Hood here. Now this rocket launcher is a bit interesting. We've seen this like sort of submachine gun before, with many sort of military builds and whatnot. But this rocket launcher thing, you actually separate it in two bits. It's got some bumps on it, so you sort of lower it and click it in place. Not sure what's going on there, but once again, the print on this is quite nice. Despite being digital print, it looks okay. And from distance, everything, all the shadings look really good. Got some arm printing there, and the back print is also quite decent. Next up is Yellow Lantern Superman. This armor piece that we've seen is with previous other Green Lantern related figures is, well, quite good. And Bison can use one of these. This yellow piece is not printed. It's a shame. It should have had like a Yellow Lantern logo on there, but the rest of the body and stuff is actually printed quite nicely. So I also like this figure. A little bit off center print. They have the white showing up. That's not good. Video game Catwoman. Yeah, the color's a bit faded here. Don't like this weird green tint to everything. Once again, the face is nothing special. Just generic female kind of goofy face. Side arm and side leg print, far too white. The contrast on this is all over the place. Like some of it looks like faded, some it looks really high contrast. Not a fan of this figure. And then we have Heath Ledger, Nurse Joker figure. It's a bit too late, I guess that's what I want to say. The face is kind of like I don't know, like it's kind of Muppety, like his eyes go too down. It's like a Muppet. The body print is okay, I suppose, because it's on a white plastic. And oh, we've got front and front because he's the Joker. Next up we're taking a look at is PG8159 that contains figures 1629 all the way to 1636. Starting on the left we have, well, Detective Deadpool. Last time we had the Sheriff Deadpool from the SDCC, and I guess here's just another one in a sort of tan color to go with it, I suppose. And then we have Wolverine, but in the Chinese it says Golden Wolverine, so it looks like he's older. Actually, this clothing kind of looks like Clone Wolverine from the Logan movie. Just, remove the actual Wolverine hair and just make it more of a straight sort of like army cut. Next we have Baby Groot, but as a minifigure. He's wearing that red uniform that we see in the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then we have Gangster Rocket. I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't read that many Marvel comics at all. But he has like a, not Thompson, like a Uzi, like a big machine gun. I'm guessing this yellow color is a nice contrast to the red that they've done on the left. Next we just have a version of Carnage, and then we have Donna Troy, so young Wonder Woman, the only DC character in this set. We have a female Ghost Rider, and finally Agent Venom. The Ghost Rider has a giant blade there. Off with Detective Deadpool here. He does have a little line print on there, but the print is not on the front of the hat, it's on the side, so I guess they just messed up. This mask is printed better than the SDCC Deadpool, so that's cool. The rest of him, he's got the top there, which is very detective-y, but his legs, he's got like suspenders and stuff, so like he didn't put his pants on, maybe just wearing underwear. That's kind of funny, I guess. Little bits of side print there. He's got some muscle texture on the red lining there, but shouldn't he have like... It feels like that should be skin colored and not red. On the back he has Hello Kitty on his backpack, so this looks like their skydiving scene in Deadpool movie 2. It's just like they mixed a bit of that with a detective look. It's kind of weird, not really sure what's going on there. Evil Clone Wolverine here. The face is still the comic book, it's just the suit itself reminds me of that clone from the Logan movie. I don't think he is, it just reminds me of that. Perhaps it's one of the other modern suit designs. The rest of me, he's got this whole white hair thing going on. And let's go look at the back. Yeah, I find it okay. The body stuff, that doesn't remind me of Wolverine at all. It's just the head and the hair, of course. Baby Groot as adult. This head is just a bit too shiny for me. Like the official leg one has a bit of a matte finish, and of course being more of a tree and bark texture, it should be more matte, but here it's just way too shiny. It's got his toes shining through and nice little details on the side. The leg side printing is far too white, looks very tacky. It's better on, definitely better on this side. And here's a quick look at the back. Very bad prints there, not a fan. Yellow Rocket here. Interesting, I guess. It's a nice concept, maybe. And he has got, he's got front print on the back as well. That's just, it would have been better to not print anything, to be honest. Yep, exact same print on the back. That's just silly. Donna Troy here. She can't hold on to the sword. The sword's too small. Something that gets annoying. Just very grey. Her breasts look weird. Like these two stars look like oddly positioned nipples. It's just really weird. Side print is off-centered. So is this side. Looks bad. Yeah, the bad quality print as well on the side. And the back here, nothing too special. Bad figure overall. Female Ghost Rider, not read that book or whatever, but these prints, yeah, the digital print's far too 3D on this, make it look a bit bad. Do like these armor packs that they put on them, and the back print is just very simple. But this one gets the job done, not too bad. I just have no feelings towards it whatsoever. And then we have Agent Venom here. I sort of know what's going on, like they got this symbiote onto an actual like agent guy, and he's able to sort of control it. Just got standard like muscle texture underneath, but still have some prints there where the armor doesn't cover the torso. Let's go look at the back. So this one gets the job done. It's mostly black and just some lining detail, and it works. It's PG8153 containing figures PG490 to 497. This is kind of weird, like the numbers are all over the place here. But anyway, starting on the left we have Scarecrow. Not sure which version is supposed to be. Kind of reminds me of perhaps should be a video game version, but I don't know. And then we have Black Panther. He's got this whole purple light thing, like the defense on the suit that he has. Black Panther, T'Challa in his regular look. We have two characters combined in Superman and Martian Manhunter. And then we have Lena Lang as Superwoman. Uncanny X-Force Psylocke from her Uncanny X-Force look. We have just Robin, very odd-looking Robin, and then Green Arrow based on how he looks in the TV show. I think this is in digital print, and this Scarecrow is just ugly. The face print is very bad. The torso is a bit of a mess. Side print. Not a fan of this one at all. It's got this whole canister design thing going on. Not a fan. Now this Black Panther could have been nice, kind of reminds you of like Great Tango cans or whatever, but the digital print kind of ruins the look, especially on the face. Printing, back printing. Now there has been, Black Panther sets from XINH before, so if you want, multiple of those suits, you can probably get that instead. This one is definitely not a good figure. With digital print, one of the perks of it is that you should be able to get a lot of details in here, but here we have just white patches that look very smudged. Just look like some grandma's knitting, like one of those sheets that you put on top of tables that just kind of went wrong and now it's all over the place on him. Yep, man, the back is just no print. Now the color of the plastic they've chosen is nice, like a sort of metallic black plastic. It's just the print is very disappointing. The face is okay, a bit generic. Super Martian Manhunter Man. It's okay, I suppose. It looks more like a demon to me. And he's got basic back print, I suppose. Again, these combined figures, characters don't really do much for me, but if you like this sort of thing, this is okay. Now this design reminds me of the red and blue sort of split Superman characters, and just in woman form, the face is bad, just bad, and quick look at her back. Nothing too special about her, but if it's one of those characters you're looking for, it's okay. Psylocke here is printed okay. I just sort of recognize her because of purple hair. She always has purple hair. And she has X-Men all over her, so yeah, I can sort of recognize her. Nothing too special about her, just it's Psylocke. Now this Robin, what's going on here? This is weird. Like, it's got R and got the eye. First of all, the face is too small, and mispositioned far too high. So it's got a really big jaw. Not sure what it is with the small cape here. Like, what version of Robin is this? If you know, please let me know in the comments below. These stripes are very ugly all over him. Like, the torso print is okay, but the rest of him is really ugly. Like, is he Santa's little elf? Like, one of his elves just dressed up as Robin for, like, a costume party, maybe? And then we have Green Arrow based on whichever season this is supposed to be. Back, very simple details, nothing too special about them, but at least the arm and side prints is quite nice as well. Overall, it's mostly just black lining printed on green plastic, and for that it looks quite good. As for the arm printing, this kind of works as well. It looks like he's missing a bit of the straps, but that's how he had some of his armor padding on his arms, just these little pads with some straps on them, so it doesn't look too bad at all. So this has worked out and turned out okay. But we have Pogo set 8194, containing figures 1701 all the way to 1708. Starting from the left, we have something called Mr. 8. I have no idea who this is. Next, we have Fall, but as a frost giant. And then we have Killer Frost. And then we have a Spider Punisher Man. We have someone called Toxin, it's a Spider-Man villain. The TV version, or Robbie Ray's version of Ghost Rider. Robin Toy Wonder, so like a robot Robin, and a Dark Knight of the Round Table. Now, I know this book, I've not read it, but I know of the Round Table Batman. This once again in a digital print. The first figure is actually printed quite nicely. The details are sharp, they're nice, and they're not tacky at all. So kudos there, this figure looks quite good. Next up with Frost Giant, look at this hand. They've molded it completely wrong. This hand is completely useless. And it didn't come with a spare hand. Like, this figure didn't have that, so I can't swap it out. A lot of these figures came with spare hands, but not this one. The hammer is not the usual Thor hammer. It looks like from something else, like dwarfs and whatnot. The overall print of him is quite nice. The face is not good though. It's slightly offset from the white there. It does have some side printing and some back printing. They've also molded that neck fur that you usually see in white with a lot of penguin figures in black, so that's a nice new piece that you can use. Killer Frost here looks okay. I think this is like just the comic book version. She's got these two sort of flamey effect pieces, and she has some basic back print. Overall, I think she's printed not as good as the other few figures in this wave, but it's still decent enough. Spider-Man Punisher mix here. Seriously, it seems like every single one of these waves will have at least one figure that's two characters combined. This one is printed okay, I suppose. It's just like a black negative Spider-Man with a Punisher logo on him. Nothing too special about this. Toxin here, they've managed to get the gradient across just by printing the blue onto the red body. Gives it a nice little sort of purplish shine to it, and that kind of makes sense because the blue, sort of like the pants, like growing on the red body. Same as on the arms as well. It does look quite decent with these blue claws attached to him. The whole thing looks quite nice. The effect is pretty good. Ghost Rider here, not a fan of the face, but I get what they're going for because it's kind of like that in the TV show as well, where it kind of looks like a plated mask. Torso is simple, but so is the design of the suit. Some arm printing there and basic back print. It's decent enough. Toy Robin here is quite cool, just kind of like a robot Robin, and the details are also pretty nice. Doesn't look too tacky at all. Robot legs there. I feel like they should have gone with those sort of like Minecraft-y single legs there. Some of the other bootlegs have managed to do that. Regular torso, but robot or skeleton legs underneath. Because they printed the skeleton there, but they just used regular minifigure stuff. Seems quite lazy. And here's a quick look at the back. Very simple print, but gets the job done. Finally in this wave is Night Batman, and I think this one's also quite nicely done. It's a bit tacky, but that's how he looked like in the books. I remember correctly, these colorings. And I do like how the baby blue back cow like contrasts with the rest of this design. Sub is set number 8196, containing figures 1717 all the way to 1724. Starting at the left, we have the Netflix version of Daredevil, and then we have Robin from Batman Who Laughs. Now the Chinese name just says Zombie Robin, but this is one of those, I guess it's sort of zombie-fied, but just completely distorted corruption of the Batman Who Laughs Robins. And then we have Harley Quinn from Injustice 2, Red Sun Deathstroke, Red Sun Wonder Woman, Joker from Injustice 2, Sailor Moon x Harley Quinn, here's our crossover character again, and we have a Marvel's Zombies Spider-Man. Starting with Daredevil here, we have a really useful pad printed piece of Nelson and Murdoch, attorney, so that's kind of cool. He's got these two bright red sticks, which just use some dark red sticks from other figures. Now this is not the first time we have had like a that just fell off. Who's the zombie now? Daredevil, Netflix Daredevil before, but this is the first time we had a proper like molded cow of this. So if you do have any previous Daredevil figures that are quite decent, this is still a nice one to get just for this mask there. The molding is very nice, and then these devil horns are pretty good as well. It's got those linings just like the Netflix TV show one does. The figure underneath, just some random face print there, it's fine. Side print and back print. So decent figure, I guess, but as you saw there, the clutch was pretty bad. And I will go through like the overall clutch on all these by the end of this. Just as creepy, and got some elf ears there, which I don't think is necessary, but very creepy Robin. And this torn cape, the Batman Who Laughs. I haven't read any of those yet. I intend to read it after the story concludes. You just get like a trade of whatever, like a paperback one. And yeah, pretty decent back print, so pretty cool figure to have. And there is a Batman Who Laughs figure from another set that I will be ordering soon, different brand, with 8 different Batmans with different headpieces for different versions of Batman. So that's a very cool set. More on that in another video. So if you're getting that Batman, it's nice to pick up this evil Robin as well, or a few of these evil Robins, if you want to like build like a little display or something, or army build these monster Robins. This one is also digital printed, decent enough I guess, kind of looks like she does in Injustice 2 game, I suppose. Yep, it's pretty nice print overall. She could have gone with just one head with dual side printing, but it's probably like a technical thing they couldn't done. But they still gave us 2 face prints, so a little bit annoying, but it's okay. As on Deathstroke here, I just decided to put this knife pack on the top there so I can quickly show you his back printing. The gas mask looks kind of cool, and here's a quick look at the back, very simple. Not a fan of the back leg print, that seems like it's messed up. Again, this one's digital print, it's okay. The colors seem a bit blurred on this one. Must have misaligned print heads or something. that can happen, so not great. Her little headband doesn't reach the hair. That's no good. Very yellow whip is also made out of a harder plastic. It wasn't molded properly, so she can't hold it in a certain angle. It just sort of flips. And yeah, this feels like it can snap like very easily. Digital print Injustice Joker with this really crappy jacket. Not a fan of that, of course. If you remove the jacket, he does have some just basic torso print on his body. And the leg prints are okay, I suppose. And if you do remove this completely, he's got some weird purple arms, so you really need to keep that jacket. But again, I'm not a fan of this material. We have a crossover, Sailor Moon, Harley Quinn here. It's kind of funny, kind of cool, kind of works. The hair thing works, the dress skirt thing works. So if you're a fan of both, this is a pretty decent figure. Digital print. And at last, our zombie Spider-Man is also digital print. Unfortunately, would have much preferred if this was a pad printed one. And it would be nice if this Pogo or other brands can start giving us sort of zombified versions of all the Marvel characters. We have Marvel Zombies. I did read Marvel Zombies, I did read a lot of the sequels, and I think most of them were very entertaining reads. Next up we have Pogo set PG8204 containing figures 1781 all the way to 1788. Starting on the left we have something called the Killing Machine, and then we have a version of Green Lantern. I can't remember which version this is. Is this the crazy Hal Jordan where it's been possessed? Or not? And then we have, I'm thinking that this is Batman Forever Batsuit, because the one after that is the Batman and Robin sort of ice Batsuit. And why do we need a figure like this? Why has anyone decided to make this? And then next we have one that's similar to the original Tim Burton movie sort of Batsuit, but I think the logo is just a bit too small, looks kind of weird. And we have just a version of Wolverine, and then we have two copies of more casual Deadpool. There's two different like sort of mask face, and you get two different sort of just regular him faces in his sort of more casual look when he's just hiding out, I guess, in some of the scenes. This set is also all sadly digital printed. This version of Batman here, now the set that I mentioned that has the Batman Who Laughs actually has custom cowls for all 8 Batman figures. And one of the figures is this, with a custom proper like cowl. So if you want to, this version of Batman, then just get that one and don't get this one, because that one I think it's pad printing and also has really high quality head molds, and this one is technically incorrect, I suppose. And just some sort of munchy face underneath. Next we have Green Lantern here, looks kind of pissed. It's just, I don't think this is a video game version of him, I don't know. Digital print of the Green Lantern here on this little plate, but it's hard to see, it's very smudgy. And the rest of him has this whole muscular texture going on. Not really sure which version of Green Lantern this is, but it looks okay, I suppose. Now this version of Bat suit, just very faded face print, that's pretty bad. Don't expect like Val Kilmer or George Clooney underneath. The torso print is also hard to see. You still see it in certain angles, but yeah, not very good. No side printing, is just some very basic back printing here. Again, very faded face underneath. He does have these extra like bat gauntlet things attached to him. We've seen this before in certain bat sets, and now they're in silver and returned here. Ice suit is recognizable, I guess, and here's a quick look at the back. Again, very simple prints. So if you just want that ice suit from that movie, then here you go. I'm not sure why he doesn't have any gloves, that's just weird. But here he is, again, faded face print. This wave, like this set of 8 figures, so far feels very, very cheaply made. Very basic back print as well. I think this back print is pretty much the same as the other two here, just printed on different colors. That's cheap. Okay, Wolverine here. Finally something that looks a bit better, but only by margin. And this version of Wolverine can be get from other bootleg brands as well. So his head's stuck underneath this mask. What I had ain't coming out. Here's the back print. So I mean, you're gonna assume it's just like regular Wolverine head underneath, but that's annoying. And then we have our two nice Deadpool here. We have angry face, happy face, kind of squinty eye face, and another kind of squinty eye face there. It's kind of cool. There's some variations here, and just just looking through the viewfinder and just from a distance here, these digital prints are quite nice. Yeah, digital print. There's a bump on it. So these are done quite well. Side printing there on both of these. Ugh, these scars are nasty. Just don't really want to see that. and here's got the back. So yeah, these are nicely printed. So if you want casual Deadpools, these are okay. Although not really sure angry face is a nice way to go with casual Deadpool. Something more goofy would be nice. Phew, our last set for the day, PG8209, containing figures 1841 all the way to 1848. Starting on the left, we have Ancient Anti-Venom, which is a nice contrast to the Ancient Venom we had in the previous sets. Next, we just have a version of Wonder Woman, a more comic book version of Cable, Captain America based on the First Avenger look, and you have, I think this is one of the earlier releases of the Rescue Armor for Pepper Potts. We have just a more yellowed version of Aquaman, and finally a comic book version of the Iron Spider. Starting with this Anti-Venom here, just a good contrast of that. It is well, actually quite different designs, it's not just a flip. And by the way, all the figures in this wave are pad printed. Hooray, thank God. Now underneath the armor, you do have like most of the muscular print on him. Some side print there, and the back print. So pretty cool overall. Wonder Woman here has a golden shield that actually just clips onto a minifigure arm. It sort of floats around there. You move her hand, it's okay. She's got a very comic book texture and style to her. Some nice golden details. For some reason, blue hair, just a real red, white, and blue motif, I guess. And her lasso is printed onto the back of her, so you can't actually use that. Bit of a shame. Quite nice design here. Not a big fan of that whole stomach hole thing, but aside from that, it looks quite good. Cable, pretty good, comic book look. X-Men logos right there. Only has an angry face though. Would have been nice if he had like a regular face as well. Big gun there, and here's a quick look at the back. Very simple design. I get it. I think it works. Looks good. Now this Captain America here, if you just remove this mask, it looks alright. Now we've had this before, I think with like Xing-Yuan or Lily or whatever, even Deku. Maybe we've had this design in multiple sets before, but here it's been produced quite nicely. Some of the details highlight because it's got like a silver shine to it, but doesn't overdo it, and overall looks quite good. This mask here is okay. I think it's missing the middle because I've seen this mold with some other masks later. What I don't like about this is that this A is far too prominent and looks very goofy. Got some arm padding there on both sides and pretty standard back print. So I like this a lot, and I might, despite be the one that I keep for First Avenger look of Captain America. Next, like I said, looks pretty cool. Just a darker version of the comic book suit. Back print, side print, looks really nice. I like this a lot. Looks like the hair too. The Han Solo hair does match him. Bit of a douchey look. Okay, Rescue Armor, the print design is quite nice, very shiny and metallic. There'll be more Rescue designs from the Endgame sets that we'll be reviewing later. Back here is also quite nice, just this mask doesn't look quite right. I think they need to add a little more paint details to this to make it look good. Underneath you have generic female face, but it does have a little bit of pepper potness to it because it's a bit like orangey, maybe. I know she's not ginger, but still. Okay, just a very yellow version of Aquaman. Why? I don't know. Golden Trident, hard plastic, that's cool, I guess. Not really much to say about him, just orange is fine. The yellow look is... that head's stuck in there as well. I remember I had a hard time putting this hair on, it just sort of clipped on, so I guess it's not coming up. But here he is, yellow Aquaman. I think they just ran out of ideas and just stuck this in there, like... Well, might as well give us rainbow colors like red, green, and blue as well. Okay, Iron Spider here. Now these claws, some of them are really tight and don't want to come out, and some of them are quite loose, like this one. So that's very annoying. The pad printing on him is okay. The gold coloring is nice. If I just move this across. Quick little back, very simple design, gets the job done. So, the best figures from this lot are the pad printed ones. As for the digital printed ones, this was 50-50. Some were a bit too blurry, some were just kind of okay, some looked really good, especially at a distance. So I'm thinking it's just a bit of like a luck game, see what kind of figure you will get from the digital printed ones. The accessories for most of them were okay, although some figures just oddly didn't have any accessories at all. That's fine for me, because I've been buying a lot of these figures for a long time. I have official Legos that also have spares. But if you just pick up one set, if you've not picked up any of these before, Someone says he seemed lacking or missing. The two odd figures here are, of course, Tomb Raider and Rocky. Why they're here? I have no idea. It's just kind of weird. Some of the coolest figures are like Bat-Mite. That's something really cool to have. And of course the Robin from the Batman Who Laughs. I think those are interesting figures as well. In terms of the clutch and stuff, a lot of them are very inconsistent. You saw in the video that some stuff just wouldn't pop out the helmets and such. But I would say actually the most common thing was the opposite for the heads. A lot of them had really tight neck joints. Now some of the neck joints during the photo shoot of these, I did manage to like loosen up, and there was like extra plastic residue underneath, and once I cleared that off, like it's just rubbing and sanding it off, just rubbing it too much, it wasn't as tight anymore because the extra plastic just rubbed off. That's cool, I guess, but for kids that's gonna be really annoying, and you know, it kind of hurts after a while you're trying to twist it. So be prepared to have some sort of clamp or some tool to twist some of these heads off. And the problem also goes down to the hands as well. You saw more of the arms falling off. Why? Because the arm clutch wasn't strong enough, but the hand clutch was way too tight. Some of the hands wouldn't even spin, and when putting some of these figures together, I actually encountered certain hands like snapping off because it wouldn't pop into the arm, and I was putting too much force on it. And when that happens, you gotta go in for a little drill to drill away the bit that snapped off, and then hopefully the pack came with a spare minifigure hand. Not all of them did. Some figures came with the hands attached to the arms already. Great, I don't have to do it myself, but that means that they don't have any spares. And in one case, one of the Batwoman figures, yeah, she did have the arm and hand pre-attached in the bag, but the hands weren't fully pushed up into the arm. They looked like they popped out a little bit, and it was impossible to turn or push it in. That was very annoying. So be prepared to have some spares with some of these. So overall, I think Pogo quality has dropped significantly since I last did videos on them. The digital prints are just not as good as their previous pad printing. They have been improving so much, and then there was like a sudden drop for them. And the plastic quality and the clutch also seems to be heading in the same direction as well, which is very unfortunate. So what do we do? Well, Pogo's not as good anymore, but I can say that from what I've just built, like a whole big bag, big box of them, the XINH stuff is still very high quality, and the KOPF stuff seems to be going up in quality as well. As you saw as one of the comparisons, the Huntress WM figure was quite decent too. Just some of the custom model stuff was a bit bad, but just off from the side, I will say that the WM stuff has improved printing. So it always seems like when one brand is fading away, another one steps up and becomes quite strong. But of course, it's always nice to have different brands and different variations of figures, so we seem to have more options. In conclusion, if you look at this picture right now in front of you, there's a sea of minifigures that's very colorful, they're all very different. If you just want some of these characters from the comic books or movies that you really like in minifigure form, just for display purposes only, most of these would just do fine. If you want to play around these figures, they will start to get a bit frustrating. Well, hope you guys like this long video of multiple sets. If I were to do these as individual videos, it'd be even longer and take more of your time because I would be repeating a lot of the same comments between them. Upcoming, I'll have one where it's just DC figures or just Marvel figures or sets that are fully focused on a certain movie, so anime and all that stuff. And of course, you know, XNH, FO, KOPF and some other sets as well. So don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, or the bell button to be notified of that next video. My channel is also continuously having SH figure arts and real Lego videos as well, so be sure to check those out. What do you guys think of this video format? I've previously done this 1 or 2 times. Hope you guys like it and you're longer, just get them out the way. And what do you guys think of these figures? Were there any favorites or ones that you hated and wish they were done differently? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, share this video with other people that you think will find this interesting. As always, take care, have a nice day. I will see you guys soon. Oh my god. Bye-bye now.